Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and today I'm going to be reviewing Shazam Fury of the Gods, once again, directed by David F. Sandberg, and starring Zachary Levi as Shazam, Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer, um, Rachel Zegler, Helen Mirren, and Lucy Liu, among many others. Everybody from the first movie is pretty much in this movie. I don't think there's, well, yeah, Rachel Zegler, she's the new addition, and a couple of others. But point being, Shazam is back, and I'll just cut straight to the chase. This was unfortunately a big disappointment overall. I wanted to go into this movie and like it just as much as the first Shazam, a movie that I am a huge fan of. A movie that just with like every rewatch, I just grow more and more fond of it. I love the first Shazam. It is, as everybody says, pretty much big, but it's with a superhero. But that's the character of Shazam or Captain Marvel, whatever you prefer to call him. Billy Batson, who is a child who, with one word can transform into this hero. It is pretty much big, but it's a superhero. And the first movie just really, just like perfectly captures that feeling. It's obviously an action superhero movie, but what I really love about the first movie is that it's a family movie, literally a family movie, about an orphan boy, who starts off by looking for his mother. Through happen circumstance, gets chosen by the wizard to become the champion, and he, as it starts off, he just does he honestly does what any teenage kid who gets superpowers would do in that situation. Hell, some of the stuff he does is I would probably do, to be honest with you. And so would you, don't lie. So would you, don't lie. But it's kind of a coming of age story. It's still a superhero action movie with some small set pieces, obviously some fight sequences, but it all comes back to the theme of family. This movie, on the other hand, just classic sequelitis is the best way I could describe it. It definitely throws more action at you like right from the get-go. Definitely tries to throw more big set pieces and spectacle at you. And unfortunately, and that's fine, that's literally what like 99% of sequels do. Sequels, especially to successful franchise movies, do, is try to be bigger and better. The new John Wick movie, which I haven't seen yet, unlike its three predecessors, is nearly 3 hours long. So that's just something that sequels do, and I understand that and I respect that. And sometimes it can be pulled off fantastically well. There's countless examples, all of which I can't name right here, that do that well, and unfortunately, this just isn't one of them because it's evident that that's the priority with this movie. Let's give the audience more action and more spectacle. Let's just step up those aspects from the movie and literally sacrifice just about everything else. Now, that's not to say that this movie is like without completely devoid of any enjoyment. Something that I will say that I liked here is that uh, Jack uh, Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddie Freeman slash, in this movie he calls himself Captain Every Power. That's his Shazam alter ego's nickname. Gets more time to shine. He's more or less, I'd say, like he's more or less the central character. He's kind of replacing Billy Batson as the heart of this movie. Billy Batson slash Shazam, to be honest, felt a bit more sidelined in this movie. He still gets some moments to shine, but I feel like this is honestly more or less Freddy's movie and the relationship he has with Rachel Zegler's character. How was her name? Anthena. He's pretty much the central character of this movie, and he's still classic Freddie Freeman. Funny, charming, enjoyable. Um, I'd say a bit less obnoxious here than in the last movies. He's matured just a little bit, and that was really nice to see because in the first movie he was more or less, kind of the comedic side character. He was deliberately annoying, talking a mile a minute, and here he actually gets to show some heart. So I like that. Um, uh, Man, I'm really struggling. Oh, the villains, the daughters of Atlas or the daughters of Zeus. See, I can barely remember just because, man, there's just it's just not as good as the first one. What more can I say? Classic sequelitis. I think the daughters of Atlas, daughters of Zeus. I don't care. The two villains played by Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. They were serviceable. They weren't outstanding. I'd say so far in the Shazam franchise, the villains haven't really been exceptional. I honestly liked Mark Strong as Dr. Savannah just a tad bit more, but only a hair. I'm not gonna say he was a great villain in the original Shazam either, because he was more or less, I want all the power, I want to be strong. But I think I liked him a bit better because they gave him a little bit more backstory. He kind of, he was kind of bullied by his dad and his older brother as a kid. Whereas here, they're just evil. They're just pissed that, as they say, in the trailer, that this kid has the power of the gods and they want to take it from him and exact revenge on the human race for what they did. Very generic stuff, but they played it pretty well. They were serviceable. I liked how these villains tied more into, Greek mythology and world mythology a bit more. And overall, I did enjoy how this movie dived more into like the magic and the mysticism of this character of Shazam because he's an amalgamation of all of these mythological figures from world fiction, and I liked how they explored that a little bit more here. I did enjoy that. Um, what else? What else was good? What else was good? Rachel Zegler as a new addition to this franchise. She was really good, and I totally wasn't crushing on her every time she was on screen. She was really good in this movie. She's gorgeous. I'm sorry, she's like, oh my gosh. But I don't want this video to get age restricted, so let me stop. But anyway, she played her part in the movie pretty well. And honestly, that's about it. I mean, I enjoyed the action, but this is just kind of like, I mean, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I did not completely hate the crap out of this movie. I did have a relatively fun time, just watching it in theaters. But it is still kind of a letdown. Just because the first one really, I think again, the magic of the first one is that, with superpowers and all, it really is a coming of age story about finding your family. That really is what the first Shazam movie is at its core. And yeah, I'm gonna compare it to the first one. I mean, not only because it's a sequel to the first one, but also because I did rewatch it the night before going to see this one, and so it's still fresh on my mind. And I'd say that's the magic of the first one. But this one, and because I love the first one so much, and this one is such a letdown. It is kind of this one is just not a well no yeah it is a letdown. I'm not gonna go back on that. Just because this one is more inferior in quality, I can't help but just be disappointed. But that being said, I still did get some enjoyment from it. I mean, again, it was obvious here that they wanted to, up the budget, throw more special effects and more action sequences at us, and it was done pretty well. So, hey, there's something. But yeah, man, this one overall, Shazam: Fury of the Gods was a letdown. I know like the DC is just like their cinematic universe is like a circus right now, topsy turvy. Every other day, there's some uncovered drama about the trajectory of this universe. And yeah, Shazam: Fury of the Gods is definitely not going to help matters. I've heard that I everyone knows right now that it is at least at the time of this video, it is underperforming at the box office. Don't think that's good. I don't see that changing, especially with John Wick coming out at the end of the week. And yeah, critically, it's not being received well either. I think audiences are liking it a bit more than critics. Unlike the first one where audiences and critics alike adored it. So it's yet another DCEU movie where reactions are split between critics and audiences. That might as well just be a DCEU staple at this point. That's always the case. Um, and yeah, I guess I can see why, and I'm certainly not, just so there's no misunderstanding, I'm not jumping on the DC hater bandwagon or whatever, because I absolutely adore Man of Steel. I had fun with Black Adam, the most recent entry in this Shazam franchise. I enjoyed Black Adam more than I enjoyed this, so I'm definitely not a DCEU hate. I'm not a DCEU hater Cinco fan. Whatever. I don't even know why I have to explain it. Like I'm obviously not. I just found this disappointing as a movie. But anyway, that's about all I can say about Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Just classic case of sequelitis, trying to be bigger and better and sacrificing characters, story, character arcs, story, dialogue, and everything else. Um, one last thing. A common criticism of even the first movie is that Asher Angel's take as Billy Batson is more, kind of more somber and reserved as opposed to Zachary Levi's take on Shazam. Um, I don't. I never found that like I never saw that as a problem with the first Shazam movie, just because I kind of interpreted it as Billy, this kid, because they explain a lot about him in the first movie, including the fact that his mom pretty much abandoned him. Um, so as Billy Batson kind of has this little chip on his shoulder, but as Shazam, he's a kid who just discovered his superpower, so he's definitely going to be more excited and ecstatic in that state. That's how I kind of interpret it. But here it is actually more noticeable. That criticism is more noticeable because like as Shazam in this particular movie in Fury of the Gods, he's sometimes like just a straight up idiot, like just a straight up goofball. Like there's a scene where they're trying to be funny, like where he can barely pronounce a really basic name, and it's like, dude, aren't you supposed to be 18 at this point? He says Billy Batson says he's 18, so they were just trying to again more action, more set pieces, and I guess more comedy. Definitely more comedy, and a lot of the jokes here just didn't land. So yeah, that's another thing too. So chalking it up, I'm going to give Shazam: Fury of the Gods a 5.5 out of 10. This was a bummer. This was a letdown. I was very excited. AMC even gave me a free comic book for seeing it. I guess seeing it in Dolby Cinema, and so I was really pumped. I was ready. I was ready to be again be struck by lightning. But as they say, I guess lightning really doesn't strike twice, and that is definitely the case for Shazam. Well, I guess we'll always have that first movie, and Black Adam too, as kind of more guilty pleasure-ish. But yeah, as far as Fury of the Gods go, not the biggest fan. So again, 5.5 out of 10 for Shazam: Fury of the Gods. This has been another episode of Wade Watches, and I will see you all soon.